everyone, it's Madison Gesiotto. You know, enough is enough with the Democrats. What we're seeing right now is a level of hypocrisy and delusion that I don't think I even expected from them. The past 4 years they spent lying, whether it was the Russian collusion hoax, the impeachment, lying about our president, lying about conservatives and conservative values. But now they want to turn it around and pretend that we're the problem and that they're the peaceful, nice people who just want to make the country great. Michelle Obama tweeting out following the election, "Let's remember that tens of millions of people voted for the status quo, even when it meant supporting lies, hate, chaos, and division." The only people lying, hating, creating chaos and division are the liberals. We all know that. We've seen it time and time again. Every time they didn't get what they wanted, there was chaos in this country for 4 years. This summer, many liberals going out looting, robbing Gucci, and instead of supporting the businesses, that had been burned down in communities across this nation, liberal elites and celebrities decided to support bail funds for these criminals instead, people who claim to be peaceful protesters that simply were not. We saw the videos, we saw the evidence. That's not what was going on. Communities have now been affected and may not be able to be rebuilt to what they were for many years. So these are real families and real lives that were hurt by the Democratic Party. And that's just one example, of course, of many. We talk about extremism. It's not the Republicans, it's not the conservatives, it's the liberals that have become very, very extreme. But we have New York Times columnists saying you can't heal or reform the GOP, who are now an extremist party. They have to be broken, burned down, and rebuilt. When Biden is in power, treat them like the active threats to democracy they are. This is just despicable. First of all, we should not treat somebody as an active threat to democracy just because they're on the other side. But when we talk about extremism, it's very clear that conservatives are not the extremist party right now. Conservative values really haven't changed much. While we've seen a great number of new people come over to the Republican Party as a result of President Donald J. Trump, the values have stayed largely the same. We want smaller government. We want to protect the lives of the unborn. We believe in our Constitution and that it makes our country very great. So we support our First Amendment right, our Second Amendment right. We want to make sure that our Constitution and our rights are protected. Therefore, we push for originalist, textualist justices and judges to be put on the bench. These values are very simple. We want lower taxes. Nothing's changed on our side when it comes to these core values. But when you look at the Democratic Party, a lot has changed in just a few short years. What was seen as extreme by many Democrats, even in the 2016 election cycle, has now become mainstream. Views that people like Senator Bernie Sanders held are now the views that they're all promoting. We saw, the multitude of Democratic candidates in the primary for the presidential election cycle, raising their hand, giving away free everything, free college, free healthcare to illegal immigrants. They don't want to protect our borders. They don't want America first. They're pushing for socialist policies that would not only harm our nation, but be impossible to pay for. We already have an issue when it comes to not having the money to pay for a lot of these, overreaching government policies and programs. So there's a lot of concerns when it comes to the Democratic Party. But right now, one concern that I'm having is seeing those leading the charge for the Democrats really engage in such delusion and such division. Because the reality is, no matter who's our president, no matter who's in office, we do want to see people come together. We want to see progress. We want to see things get better. And what the Democrats have done over the past 4 years has been divisive, to say the least. They continue to engage in the same behavior. They talk about the rhetoric of the president while engaging in rhetoric much more harmful in many instances. And so we have to call it out when we see it. We're seeing it right now among the Democratic elites and obviously many online. So take a look at some of these tweets. Take a look at what they're engaging in. Look at your Congress people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who are calling for Trump sycophants to be called out for denying their complicity. She said she foresees the probability of many deleted tweets, as if people should be ashamed of supporting Trump. They're pushing for lists to be made so that Trump supporters or people who have worked for the president in the future can't get jobs. What they're doing is pretty despicable, and it's something we've seen in very scary times in our world's history. And so take a look at what they're doing and definitely call it out when you see it, because wrong is wrong, no matter which side of the aisle it's coming from.